Sensational moment. A lot of people were saying, of course, if you want the job doing, trust the women.
Yeah, Pip, you need to go out there. That was very good.
Oh, thanks, Chris. I'll take that from you.
Yeah, fellow Brummie.
Do you want a cuddle?
Yeah, thanks. Listen, it was fantastic. How did they do it? Resilience. The men could learn from that, couldn't they? Experience, really, because, the Aussies, they had that... You saw England, the men in the past, they've sort of failed in front of their own fans.
Bottled it.
And I always thought that it would work against Australia, and it did today. I mean, everyone said it was going to be really hostile, which you don't really get in the women's game. England quietened them right down, and the look on their faces as the Aussies got beaten on home soil. Remember the Ashes. Remember the netball a couple of weeks ago.
Well,
they're not going to do it in the football as well, huh?
It's all calmer, especially with the Ashes.
Yeah, listen, I mean, they really badly wanted to win that. The Aussies are a real sports nation. We are as well. Probably the two biggest sports nations in the world, I would say. And the history, it rubs off on them from us, I think. But, they really want to win. You saw what happened in the cricket. They really want to win. So to do it on their patch is pretty fantastic. And to do it pretty easily as well, I thought.
No love lost between England and Australia, no matter what the sporting event, no matter if it's the women's or the blokes. But the final, looking on now, it's not going to be a pushover. Spain, prolific scorers. They had a really good game yesterday against Sweden. It's not going to be a pushover.
No, but experience is going to count, I think. England have been in 2 World Cup semi-finals, lost them. Japan, USA. The game has really come on the last 3 or 4 years. And you've seen the crowds. I've been at games. I was at the Arsenal Champions League semi this year. Packed, the game has really taken off. And the Spanish don't have that experience. I think their first World Cup was 2015. They got knocked out, finished bottom of their group. Last World Cup, they got to the knockouts and lost to the US, who went on to win it. They are moving very quickly in Spain. A lot of their team come from Barcelona, who have won the Champions League a couple of times. But they don't have the experience. And as I say, the biggest single thing for me in this World Cup for England has been that resilience. We've seen it when they came through in the penalties against Nigeria, quarter-final against Colombia. They went a goal down, and a lot of English teams sort of folded, came back. Lauren Hemp scored that equaliser. They came through that one. Away game today in a supposed cauldron. So they've got that belief, and they've won a tournament before. They've beaten Spain as well. Euros a couple of years ago, last summer, wasn't it? Ella Toone scored in that game. They were losing, late goal, went to extra time. They eventually won it. Toone scored in the final. She scored today.
And Chris, how big a boost is this for women's football? I mean, to see England's women get to the final. I mean, it's the first final that England have reached, isn't it? Since 1966.
It is,
Listen, you keep saying that.
I can't help
Let's be straight here. There are a lot of men who say the women's game is nowhere near the men. That's true. There are light years of difference of level, but, you've got to take it on face value. The game, all across the world, the women's game has been hampered by lack of opportunity to progress. Here's a quote from me. In 1921, the FA... women's football for females, what was the word? Not suitable and should not be encouraged. That was in 1921. 50 years later, the ban was lifted in England, and here we are 52 years later, they've got to the World Cup final. But other countries around the world, they've been even further behind. So, it's in Spain, they've only just started playing really at the top level. So that's why. But you've seen the way it's taken off, and there's going to be mayhem. But by the weekend, the hysteria will be right there.
OK, Scuds, let's have it then. What's the score going to be? Who's going to win?
England will win on experience. Might go to pens, but the Spanish team is very kind of. They're quite young. And they all come from the same club. So I mean, it's going to be. Whoever's head is right on the day, I think. England have got that experience, but they're a very talented team, Spain, and they're coming quickly, so let's see.
If they win the Euros and they win the World Cup and they do it on penalties, that'd be 3 things that the blokes can never get right. Scuds.
Titles come in clutches.
Watch and learn, guys. Watch and learn.